This video is sponsored by EA. Season 7 drops in 12 hours, so I wanted to give you a primer on Olympus because it is a very different map and there's a lot to learn about it, so these tips will help you to get started. Before we get into the tips, let me just give you a quick overview of the points of interest in this map. Let's start with the Rift, a really unique area that ties the rest of the map together. You're not going to land here and find it difficult to get guns. Big rift in the middle, you'll be transported through a large tunnel called the Phase Runner, which will take you to the center of the map. Once you're here, you can go again back to the rift, or you can go the other way and travel all the way down to the other side of the map. Next to the rift, we have Power Grid and Docks. These spots are the less colorful areas of the map. Next, we have Carrier. It's filled with lootable areas and multiple entrances. After, we have Oasis. The 2-story tower is beautiful. You can climb up to the 2 stories on each building or zip down underneath. Turbine. This is a large area that circles around a big and accessible turbine in the center of the map. Energy Depot. There's so many different levels here to engage from, on the tops of buildings, on the ground floor, or underground. Gardens is this large open area with loot scattered evenly. It's a good place to land for a bit of a break from some of the hotter drops. Grow Towers is another colorful point of interest with lots of open ground loot. You have these 2 large towers in the middle with multiple floors. We then have Orbital Cannon and Solar Array south of Grow Towers, both of which offer some unique engagements. And then we have the open area around Hammond Labs. We also have Estates, a beautiful residential area. Go further south and we have Elysium and Hydroponics. Hydroponics is another area with a confusing number of floors, and there are passageways and doors that connect it all together. Finally, we have Bonsai Plaza, a multi-level building complex with all sorts of routes to take to engage fights both on the ground and up above. Zip lines on each tower allow access to the higher floors. This is also the building where a certain legend may have had her parents killed, so I'm definitely going back here to explore location crypts when Season 7 launches. Tip number 1, there's going to be a preview event where you can play this mode without anyone killing you. You have about 10 minutes to explore the map freely. You definitely want to try this to get a grip of what places there are to explore and where the loot is and all that stuff. Speaking of loot, let's lead into tip number 2. There are no loot ships, loot vaults or bunkers, so you're going to need to find other loot if you care about high tier loot. So let's move on to my first favorite loot spot, Elysium. This spot has a very high tier loot. It's this small UFO looking thing on the side of the map, and when you pick up loot here, you'll notice that there's always some purple armor in the middle and always a gold item, and very often that gold item is in fact a gold weapon. This is a very strong place to start, and as you'll see later, there is a Trident very close nearby which you can always get on and rotate through the map with. Tip number 3 is that you're going to need to think about rotations in a different way on this map. You got to look at the ring and think, okay, where's the nearest Trident between me and the nearest ring? Definitely go into the map thinking about how you can use the Tridents to rotate instead of just the jump towers. There are jump towers, but the Trident's just so much more effective at moving around the map. This Oasis building has an underground area, and there's a lot of high tier loot down here too. It seems to be another gold item spawn here, but it's a trap for you if players are above hiding on this balcony, so definitely be careful when you loot down here. It's a very dangerous spot if you get caught off guard. Next, if you listen out carefully, you can actually hear the Tridents very far away, which can be a great way to push squads if you want to get some fights. Another tip is you can actually see the Trident moving around on the map, so if a player gets in a Trident and starts moving around, you can kind of track them down, which is quite interesting. I'm not sure if this is a bug or intended, but I think at launch it should work. Speaking of Tridents on the map, get to grips with where the Tridents are. There's 10 on the map, or maybe 11, and they all have static spawn. So if you like a specific area, you can learn where the Trident is in that area so that you're ready to rotate to the next place. For the next tip, don't shoot this guy, he seems sad enough, you know. On a serious note, we don't really know the purpose of this Marvin unit being here, but it may be in the future that it ties to some kind of story element, but for now all you can do is shoot him and kill him, or look at him. There are hidden tunnels in Turbine. This is a very central point and a lot of teams will rotate through this area, so it can be very dangerous. So if you want to rotate safely, take a look at the minimap and look at the hidden tunnels. This will allow you to travel through here a little bit safer or get good positioning on these players. Here's another little sneaky tip about these tunnels. You can actually shoot through some areas and get some real sneaky angles on players outside. This tip is crucial for Olympus. Use the rift to travel through the map. This thing will help you to quickly rotate through anywhere in the map faster than any other travel method in Apex Legends. You can go from the top of the map to the bottom in about 20 seconds, maybe even less. So if you really need to move or you're really looking for high kill games, utilize the phase runner. Now, when you leave the phase runner, you'll be in the void for a short second, so you can actually see players nearby. It's as if you're playing Wraith, so use this to make sure you get somewhere behind cover and you haven't got players aiming at you. If you're on the opposite side of the phase runner, you can tell if a player is leaving it because there'll be a red icon or sort of like a red circle at the exit. So pay attention to this. This will tell if a player is in the phase runner and about to land right next to you. This spot here is Hammond Labs, and it is a very dangerous high traffic area in the late games. The ring tends to go into the center of Olympus and many players will rotate through this area. It will be third party central. Watch out for this spot. It's going to be very dangerous, but a lot of fun too. Olympus has a ton more verticality, but that doesn't just mean high-rise buildings and extra floors on buildings, but also underground areas. Pay close attention in your spot. There are many underground areas you can go to get good flanks and find more loot. If you're looking for lore, play Lifeline, Octane, and Horizon for tons of location quips. We're definitely going to have to go and take a closer look in the new preview mode to find them all, but yes, if you want to learn more about Olympus or the characters in this game, play these characters because all three of these characters came from Olympus. Be careful about moving from point A to point B. There's more open ground, and what I mean by this is there's less pieces of cover between different points of interest, and the reason for this is they've kind of spread out the cover a bit to allow the Tridents to go through freely. So let's say on King's Canyon and World's Edge, for every 5 pieces of cover, say it be a vehicle, a box, or a rock, that you may take from getting to point A to point B during rotations. In Olympus you have like 1 or 2, so you're going to be out in the open a lot more. Definitely be very careful. Think about how you're going to reposition more carefully in this map, or consider just taking a Trident so it's a little bit safer. Another little tip that's going to save you from embarrassment: look before you jump. Sometimes areas that look like they'll have floors under you won't, and you may fall. You can see in this clip here me kind of demonstrating that some areas do have a spot you can jump down on and other areas don't. So yeah, definitely get a feel for the map before you just start jumping around like crazy. Another thing to think about when playing Olympus is that, unlike in other maps, Olympus gives you the freedom to sort of go over or around the sort of areas that block off the points of interest. So in King's Canyon and World's Edge, you have massive mountains blocking off the points of interest and creating different lines of sight. In Olympus, you can literally just grapple over them, go through them, around them. You have a lot more freedom of movement. So learn this map and think about how you have different options to go from point A to point B. There's not always simple choke points, and you have a lot more freedom to get around the map. It's going to feel like a smaller map in some ways because the options to travel are a lot easier and faster in many cases, but either way, you're definitely going to love Olympus. It's so colorful, it's so beautiful, it's well optimized, it's so much fun, and it drops in about 12 hours, so definitely go and check this out. And if you didn't know already, it's coming to Steam and you can go and preload it now, so very exciting stuff. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the comments. Cheerio!